there's a lot that has not changed, and then there is a lot that has changed since the last time I tuned in. I never seen ladder matches before that. That was
Ooh.
that was weird. That was interesting.
Yeah,
You know?
people like wrestling is staged, it's scripted, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But the
Oh yeah. It's
injuries are
after that.
definitely not scripted. You watch some of these dudes go through the ladder with their back and be slammed through it. That's obviously not fit. But there's a lot of real blood and shit that goes on.
Even
But
if
you know, the winner's scripted, obviously.
even if that ladder is rigged to break, like a stage combat ladder, falling from that distance onto anything is going to hurt a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Dad Religion Podcast. That's Jim. I'm Jason. We are so happy that you are joining us today. What's up, buddy?
Not a whole lot, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right.
Doing good? Cool,
Yeah.
cool. It's cool to be with y'all again. Been probably 2 weeks, which is maybe too long, but I'd like to give you guys a little reminder, please, if you have any friends that might be interested in these rambling, senseless conversations, share us with them and give us a like on the YouTube and, subscribe if you want to be number 53, big 5-3. Jason, tell them what they
So,
get for becoming a 53rd subscriber.
they win a lifetime of joy with us, and they make us smile, and it's really sad that we only have 52 after a year, but hey, whatever. It is
Hey,
this.
not so bad, really.
I know people get 53 a second.
Yeah. Well,
Anyways,
crazy
I want to talk about last night's
Eesh.
shooting at the Hilton in Washington D.C. or
Mm,
what,
mm.
or maybe shooting. I think it's. I wish I had my tinfoil hat.
Well,
Don't
before you get started, let me ask you this question,
I
Jason.
don't see it
Do
anywhere.
you know that that's the same hotel that Reagan got shot in front of?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
they call it the Hilton, That's kinda fucking weird,
But he got shot in the front of it.
He did,
Okay.
he did, he did,
Yeah.
he did.
So my thing is, I'm like, okay. So this is the first White House correspondent, and again, this is my tinfoil hat. I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm not saying any of that. All right. A disclaimer: I am not someone who wants to see our president shot in any way whatsoever. I
Do
think
not.
that is horrible. And I will say this: you're in a room filled with the president, the vice president, the Speaker of the House, who is third in line, a few Supreme Court justices, a lot of very important people. How does the Secret Service? How does this keep happening? How like in Butler, how did that gentleman get on that roof to even throw a shot out? The dude on the golf course. I mean, they got him before, but how did he get that close to the president with weapons? If you're the president, Secret Service should have, I don't know what the radius is, but it has to at least be a mile, right? You got to be clearing out at least a few blocks in front of that Hilton has to be cleared out. Like I read that the people who were guests there, and I guess this gentleman was registered as a guest. They had access to the lobby even while this was going on. How is that possible? How does that make any sense whatsoever? And of course, it's the first one that the president decided he was going to go to. And then after the fact, again, tinfoil hat, this whole ballroom thing, he makes it out to be, oh, this is why we need the ballroom. This is why we need the ballroom. If the ballroom was at the White House, I mean, it's like it all boils down to me, it just looked like an ad for the ballroom. And whenever his favorability goes down, it feels like there's this whole shooting thing that comes into play, and it's weird to me, and it makes me think twice. I mean, you go back to Butler, shot in the ear is miraculously healed. You see Secret Service moving photographers in the front, and then Trump gets up with his fist, American flag comes down. It's a great photo. It goes on time. It brings everyone who are his supporters together and ones who are on the fence, brings them to his side, lifts them up, gives them the presidency, in my opinion. And it just feels so staged. And I hate to say that. It just really does. Thoughts?
There was a template for that, wasn't there, back in the Bush administration, where every time his approval rating would go down or an election was coming by, they would change the threat level from, like, blue to yellow and then yellow to orange, not quite to red, but orange, just to remind everybody the bad guys are still out there, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
guy's taking it to a totally different level, right? But same
If it's
principle.
true. If it's true. You know what I mean? This is me just throwing shit at the wall.
It could just be that the dude is so good at turning a moment that every time something like this happens, like, hey, gets clipped in the air by a bullet, he knows to jump up and pump his fist, and
How but how does that explain the Secret Service moving photographers into place to get the best shot?
none of it
If
explains
someone's
anything.
just been shot, shouldn't you move them out of there? Not bring them closer to the action?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To me, Jason, this is all I have no idea. This is all so through the looking glass and it's all so the fog of war everywhere. I can't make sense of a lot of shit that we see. Feels like we're in a simulation and we're all NPCs and somewhere, up in the universe is some 12-year-old little douchebag kid who is just fucking with us. He's fucking with us because his mom would not let him play on the new Super Nintendo. He had to play on the old Super Nintendo, and that's what we are. We're on the old Super Nintendo. We're just these little NPCs. Yeah,
64
because they're
bits?
fucking
No,
with
it's not even 64. What is it? 32 bits? Is that what it
well, that
is?
would have been the Nintendo 64, right? The 64 bit.
Yeah, but the original one was the 32 bits, I believe.
Bro, I remember Pong. That's how old I am, dude. First video game in my house was
Ooh.
Pong, and we learned how to get that
Ooh.
push on that motherfucker. Bring, ding, bring, bring. It was fucking fun. It was a lot of fun.
Mine was we got the Nintendo and I had Double Dribble, I had Duck Hunt, and I had Mario Brothers.
Yep, yep.
I also had Zelda and there was one Kung Fu. Remember Kung Fu?
I remember Kung Fu.
Yeah,
I do.
buddy. We are
Lost my
old
mind.
as
Lost my
shit.
mind over Tecmo Bowl, dude. I stayed up all night playing Tecmo Bowl until I won the Super Bowl, and then that was it. I never really played video games again after that. I'm like, "Oh, this is bad. I'm addicted. I'm gonna go ahead and not do this again."
Remember the hyper mode in Tecmo Bowl where you could get it where they go all quick?
Oh, yeah, that was actually Super Bowl, which was Tecmo Bowl 2.0. I played old school. I played 1.0
No.
Tecmo Bowl.
No, 1.0 you could.
Hyper mode?
Yeah, there was like a hyper mode you could get on it.
Oh,
Pretty sure
bitch.
because that was always Barry Sanders doing the hyper mode. Bo Jackson too, he was so good.
Yeah, I think okay, so the original Tecmo Bowl had a bunch of weird characters in it. It had,
Oh,
you
okay.
know, you only had, like, 4 plays that you could run, you know what I'm saying? Then they came
I'm
out with
talking
another one because
Go
Barry
ahead,
Sanders
sorry.
was bomb on Super Bowl, but on Tecmo Bowl, he was just kinda average, you know?
No.
Yeah. They did, no,
No.
I mean, I swear to God, dude, like, not as good as he should have been.
No, you're right, you're right. Barry Sanders was a dominant running back in Tecmo Super Bowl.
That's it. Yep. Yeah, I
Alright,
played
you are
1.0.
right. I apologize.
That's
I
alright,
didn't
bro.
realize that you were so, you're such a savant when it came to
That was
that.
at the time, it was very important to me. It is
Alright,
not anymore.
back. Let's go back. Let's back up. Let's back up because we're getting into another whole realm of cool shit.
Yeah,
Let's get back to this. So, how do you think this affects the midterms, if it affects it at all?
I don't know. I honestly, Jason, like I said, I don't know about that. Here's what I think. Let's start with what we do know. This motherfucker had checked into that hotel with
Yes.
guns, and they knew that the president was going there, and
Mhm.
elevator cars were working even during the presentation and after, like, or even during the what was supposed to be, while the president was in the ballroom, which should have been a sealed, scene, right? When the president's on the
100%.
premises, at the very least, I don't know if it'd be practical to seal off the whole block, like you and I had talked about before, when this first happened. I don't know if that'd be possible to do at that place,
How?
or
But
necessary because it's just big. It's a big sprawling complex, and there's lots of people that are staying there. But according to the journalist that I heard, they anytime the president gives a speech or they have the White House Correspondents' Dinner and the president is there, each of those times while the president is there, the elevators don't work. They seal off the elevator. They seal off the whole floor. People cannot be walking in and out. You can't go into the parking garage and come up. It's just sealed. So how that guy got into the lobby at all during that is a crazy, you know, prospect. So that's
like I
all
said,
I don't know anything else, so that's really all I can say.
from what I saw, that hotel guests were still allowed to access the lobby.
Weird. I mean, that doesn't
Yeah,
sound
it is
normal.
weird, right? No, it doesn't.
I don't know, man. You know, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of all of this weird ass shit. Can we get back to some boring fucking normal? God damn, can we just like can like senators just have like a fair, or make a couple of investments that, they probably shouldn't have or something like that. Like can it just like, low grade kind of evil. This real intense hyper evil is getting to me now. And not just
Well,
evil, confusion and chaos. Can't make sense of it.
it's always been evil. The government's always been evil. They just don't give a fuck anymore, and they're just gonna
Man,
be like, I don't give a fuck. We're untouchable. We're gonna do and say whatever we want. We'll maybe take some flack for it, but then on Friday we'll throw out something else out there, and you'll forget all about the evil shit that we did the prior week. Let's talk about aliens. Ooh, there's dinosaurs still alive. Ooh,
dude,
the
it's so
UFC
much like the
event at
snake
the
oil
White
salesman.
House.
Dude, it's
Huh?
so much like snake oil sales. It's so much like the snake oil salesman or like the illusionist and stuff, like, look at that over there. And someone's climbing behind the table behind you. It's like they just, I don't know, man. The whole thing feels weird to me. It feels through the looking glass most of the,
It's weird. It's
yeah.
weird.
I wish
Everything's
we had
weird.
boring. I wish we had boring George Bush back. Either of them. I don't care. I wish we had fucking boring ass Jimmy Carter or Gerald Ford. We'll skip Nixon, but I mean, honestly, anybody who's been president except for Nixon and Johnson sucked too. Anyone's been president aside for those guys over the last half century, I would take them right now in a heartbeat over this whatever it is that we've got going on.
Yeah, it's weird. What else is going on?
Right.
I got this thing that I love, and I think I'm going through a midlife crisis, or I'm
Probably.
just I watch wrestling. I watch WWE wrestling. I enjoy
Yeah.
WWE wrestling. I don't talk about it too much because I'm kind of in the closet. But I don't know if there's something wrong with me. If I like I said, if I'm going through a midlife crisis, if I wish I was 12 again, because I mean I collect sports cards. I collect sports cards too.
Yeah.
These are all things that I did when I was a kid, and now all of a sudden they're all back again. And I know how dumb it is. I know how fake it is, but I don't know. I kind of enjoy it, and I look forward to Monday nights.
I'm in the
That's
same boat.
great.
I'm in the same boat, but maybe at a different station. Like, for me, like, yeah, comic books, anything Star Wars or Marvel or any of that kind of stuff. And probably for the same reason, it just takes me back to 1980. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I watched the live event on MTV that precipitated the first WrestleMania with Cyndi Lauper and what was his name? Something Albano. He used to have like big hair and beard,
And the
and Hulk
earrings.
Hogan Hulk Hogan got in on that, Mr. T got in on that, and, Roddy Piper was in on that. It was great, dude. I watched the very first one. It was, and I was hyped, and I was probably 12 years old. I was jumping all over the couches and shit, and Roddy Piper had Hulk Hogan in a chokehold, but he had his arm was underneath the chin, and Hulk Hogan, like, lost consciousness, and I was freaking out, man. I was freaking out.
And then he hulked
It
up.
was fucking fun. Jason, it was fun, bro. It was good theater. They worked it, and they got me. I was their audience, and so, I mean, it's good. It is for what it is, man. It is some people's cup of tea, and I am not gonna judge you for it. Probably not mine on the regular, but I watched some of the highlights, and there's a little nostalgia there, a little bit of, like, not there's a lot that has not changed, and then there is a lot that has changed since the last time I tuned in. I never seen ladder matches. That
Ooh.
was, uh that was weird. That was interesting.
Yeah, but
You know?
people like wrestling is staged, it's scripted, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But the
Oh, yeah, it's
injuries are
after that.
definitely not scripted. You watch some of these dudes go through the
Uh,
ladder with their back and be slammed through
uh-huh.
it. That's obviously not fake. The punches may
Yep.
be fake for the most part, but there's a lot of real blood and shit that goes on.
Even
But
if
the winner's scripted, obviously.
Yeah. Even if that ladder is rigged to break, like a stage combat ladder, falling from that distance onto anything is going to hurt a lot. Leave a lot of damage. What was up with the little minion guys who came out and carried the dude off? That was a little weird to me. I
Well,
hadn't had
there's this character called Danhausen, and he came
okay.
from a different. He came from like AEW or something, a different wrestling.
Okay.
I'd say that he's here. He's in WWE now, or WW. Yeah, WW. I want to call it WWF, but the World Wildlife Federation took that away from them.
Yep.
Anyways,
That shit right.
WWE, and he curses people. It's a joke. Like he's like, "You are cursed," and he curses them, and then he has his little minions, and it's yeah,
Yeah, that
it's
was fun.
funny. Yeah,
It's a
it's
lot
funny.
of
But
theater, bro.
yeah, and the women, dude, the women are so good now. So good. They're just flying through the air, putting each other through tables and chairs and getting hit with
Yeah.
anything like sticks and like
Yeah.
freaking bats, and it's great.
I noticed that the announcers tables are pretty much just a prop. They're there to get smashed at some point, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes. They just rip all the equipment off there and they throw them on there and then they smash them through it. It's great.
Yep.
I just wanted
Last
to
time I watched wrestling, that wasn't going on.
yeah, I just wanted to come out of the closet that I do love wrestling. 'Cause every time I'm watching it, my wife has something to say like, "What? How old are you?" I'm like, "Leave me alone. Leave me alone." I also finished, the Hogan documentary on, that just came out on Netflix. Pretty good.
Hulkster.
Dude, he was such a huge and they go through all his, sex tape, his use of certain words that he shouldn't have been using. It even goes into his support of Donald Trump and being up at the the
Yeah.
Republican National Convention, and the next night, the amount of booze that were thrown his way, like, and just his body in general, how he couldn't walk without a walking stick in the end. He had
Fuck.
13 back surgeries and neck surgeries, I think.
Did he pass
So
away?
much
He passed
hardware.
away, did he?
What?
He's not,
Hulk Hogan.
dude, I did not know, I did not
How do you
remember that.
not know that? Yes, Hulk Hogan died. This was filmed. It was literally his last. So at the end of the documentary, they're like, "Okay, we'll come back in 3 months and we'll button a few things up." And in that 3 months, he died.
Yeah. Wow.
It was his whole life from the beginning to the end, and he was such a huge. It which boggles my mind how a wrestler could be that big. How
He's a big dude.
he was like the biggest star on the planet for many years. It's pretty crazy. Biggest star. He was as big as Michael Jackson. He was. No, I'm telling you, he
Dude,
was.
12-year-old boy, yeah, maybe,
No,
probably,
no, 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 no,
probably.
no, 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 no,
But you know
no.
what? There were a lot of girls too, bro, and the girls were just not into wrestling. And you know what? Girls are half the population. So, like, yeah, he was
Uh,
big, but he was not cross. He had his niche. He was big. He was really big. I'm not gonna diss him on that, but he wasn't Michael Jackson. He's not international
he
star.
was yes, he was international. They showed them going to Japan and going here and there, and just crowds
Ah,
of men and women and adults just screaming their heads off for Hulk Hogan.
yeah,
I'm
I
telling you,
believe
you
he had a
watch it.
few, but it
I
wasn't
didn't think
Michael
so
Jackson
either.
too.
I'm
Okay,
telling you.
I will
Telling
watch
you,
it.
bro.
I'll watch it.
It
Yep.
was watching a really good documentary. You know, Hulk Hogan was kind of a POS at times and did some really stuff that probably shouldn't. And you know, it's funny,
For sure.
pivoting back to the Butler, Pennsylvania shooting. So in this documentary, he talks about how he was apolitical forever, and it shows clips of him and Donald Trump have been friends for like 35 years. WWE would do wrestling at Trump Towers back in the day, and this, that, and the other. It shows them hanging out, talking together, doing interviews. And it comes back to that because he's like, I was usually apolitical. I would not voice my political opinion. But then Butler, Pennsylvania happened, and Trump was shot at, and it pissed me off. So I decided to come out as supporting the president. So it's kind of
Interesting.
pivoting back. Yeah, I see you don't give a
Interesting.
shit.
No, I'm not a hater. I feel bad for Hulk Hogan that he became like that way, a little bit towards the end. Maybe it was just old age and pain that made him get, sort of the way he was
But I mean,
as a, you know,
as someone, because someone supports a certain person politically, do you need to feel bad for them?
well, that's not why I felt bad for him. I feel bad for him that he became kind of racist and,
Oh,
or
he
maybe
probably
it
always, maybe he was already racist.
shame.
I mean, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah,
I
it
was
is a
trying to get
shame.
him to pass. I was trying to let him blame it on the old age and the pain like most people of that age, but, maybe you're right. Yeah. Maybe most of those people were racist their whole life too anyway.
Most racist people, in my opinion, are always racist. They just, for some reason, they feel comfortable to spew their hate at certain times, and it comes out. The
Yeah,
real person comes out. Their inner thoughts come out. I don't
troubling,
know,
my
man.
friend.
Very troubling. All right, well, that's all I got on wrestling and shootings.
Yeah,
You want to?
I hope that the information comes out. A lot of people jump into conclusions about it being, like, leftist.
Well, from what
Please.
I know, he's from California. There is a
Yeah, you know,
manifesto that he sent his family,
and
and most of them are he probably is a leftist. That
can we
from
just
what we know right now. From what we know
can
right
we
now,
can we just say that whether somebody is on the right or on the left, if they're crazy and they're violent, that they're the bad guys. That's
100%.
all there's. They just,
Yeah.
you know, and and stop blaming each other for this because this, like, really seems to be, like, indicative that something that's not left or right is going on here. You know what I mean? It seems like there's just so much of this political violence now, man. It's seeping deeper and deeper into our, culture, social life, becoming a regular thing. I don't like it. I like to think that
Well,
we can, still do something to change some of that, don't you?
get rid of social media, and that would help probably a little bit.
I
Not
probably
fully, but a
would. It
little bit.
probably Yeah, good luck getting that ink back into the well. You're gonna have to figure out how to use social
No,
media
it
to
ain't. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. But let's talk
crazy,
about what we're gonna
crazy.
talk about next time.
Alright, so you told me to listen to a podcast called the Telepathy Tapes, correct?
Yes, yes, and that was
Yeah,
told to me by my niece Tiffany. Shout out.
mhm. Shout out to Tiff. Yeah, wow, crazy. Fuck, Jay. Kinda blew my mind listening to that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be an interesting conversation. I still don't know what to make of it. It crosses over into so many different realms. It hits religion, it's psychology, it's sociology, it's just everything, touches all of these, like, different worlds, and yeah, it's fascinating. I'm looking forward to having a conversation about that. By the way, I'm already halfway through, listening to it a second time.
Yeah, and that's 10 episodes, 45 minutes each.
I'm, like, smoking them one after the other the way I used to my Camels.
Yeah, I gotta take it a little slower. I'm on episode 7. He's on episode 7 for the second time, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got 3
yeah.
more episodes I'll finish up this week, and then I will not go back to it for a second time because that's way too much information.
Cool, and in the meantime, I'm gonna talk to my brother who has worked with developmentally handicapped people for his whole life, and a lot of them have been nonverbal, autistic kids in there. Like, I think he gets them usually when they're around high school age and then through till their early 20s, kind of a situation. So, I'm gonna talk to him and see if, he has any ideas about this because this thing is kinda blowing my mind. Can't wait to talk about it with you.
Cool, sounds good. All right. Well, I think that's all we got for you today. A little short, not too much information going
Right.
on right now, but
Makes it easier on the editor.
yes, he's
Uh,
getting better. He's getting much better.
he's getting better.